stop getting even and start getting grounded. There's one word that's been swirling in my head lately: revenge. Just saying this word feels aggressive, right? When is the right time to seek revenge? Is there a right time? We know that no matter what happens in our life, we should always choose the right moral decision. But what if the convenience of revenge takes over all too soon? Revenge is the part of the fight or fight response we all have as human beings. When we are threatened, we either flee or we stand up for ourselves. Now, I'm sure you're thinking about hundreds of times where you've been in this very position. I can tell you that the last time I thought justice, I didn't realize that my motivations were toward revenge until it was way too late. I had to convince myself that I was doing the right thing. I remember when I was in college, I was living in an apartment with 3 other roommates. Back then, I found myself in a bad situation. I was barely in the apartment because I was starting to date someone and work more, and so I was preoccupied. One day, I realized it had been a full month since I spent any time there. I remember going online and finding a message from one of my roommates telling me that they were kicking me out of the apartment, replacing me with one of their friends. I was shocked when I read this news. I remember going over to the apartment to move all of my stuff out. It was humiliating. They were all hiding in one of their other bedrooms, waiting for me to leave. All I could think at this moment is, how do I make them pay for doing this to me? I wanted them to feel bad for being so cruel. So I was leaving the keys and shutting the door for the last time. I turned to them and said thanks for being cold. I'm not proud of this moment, and it bothered me for weeks and months after it happened. Delivering justice rarely has the effect we want it to. Telling someone they did us wrong forces others to become defensive. They go into instant fight mode of the fight or fight response. I didn't encourage my old roommates to realize they were doing me wrong and change their harsh ways. I encouraged them to think I was a jerk for calling them cold. I wish I chose to stay grounded instead of getting even. When we find ourselves in moments like these, I found that the following practice best serves our ability to remain on the high road. Don't do anything. What do I mean by this? I know this can be infuriating and unproductive for the situation, but follow me for a second. In my example, I should have been aware that every move I made would have been used as a fuel against me from my old roommate's perspective. They would probably criticize the way I packed up my things or the way I looked or spoke to them. I should have understood going in that it was losing battle and that it was the best to remain peaceful with myself. And when I say peaceful, I mean Gandhi peaceful. We don't want to add any more fuel to their fire. Number 2, reach out directly and privately to someone on an infuriating email thread. I've had plenty of moments where I've responded a little too hastily out of emotion on the email chain. In one example, I felt like I was slightly bullied into agreeing to a project that I didn't want to be part of. I read the email chain in a harsh tone, but in truth, I was projecting my frustration of things not going my way from the start. If I had a problem I needed to resolve, I should have just reached out directly to one of these people, the email thread. Instead, I did bad thing of responding out of negativity. Number 3, draw a mind map that can help trigger where your feelings of revenge are sourced. This is great. If this, then what? Practice in philosophy. They call this modus poems argument. If where you lay a problem by starting if A, then B, therefore B, creating a precise trigger pattern for how we go into revenge mode can help us identify the steps we are unknowingly taking way before it's too late and the vengeful deed has been done. Thanks in advance for watching, commenting, and sharing. Take care of yourself.